Oh, we're live on Facebook, everybody. Bye, Dan. Thanks for your help, buddy. Hey, everyone. It is Nick Baldwin and Jeff Fitzer with a special guest. This episode is very near and dear to my heart, ladies and gentlemen, because Sunshine Wilhite is my rainmaker here on my Michigan team on Superior Homes Group. And we're going to talk today about how Sunshine is absolutely, positively crushing it with Facebook leads and Zillow leads using lots of automation and systems that we put into place for our team here. And we're kind of doing things that not a lot of agents in this market specifically have been doing, right? And we're going to talk about where she came from and how her business is already on the way to doubling or probably tripling by the end of 2019.
Actually,
quadrupling. I'm sorry, I don't want to get the numbers wrong. Quadrupling because of Ylopo and Conversion Monster and some virtual assistants that we have and so on and so forth. So Sunshine, thanks for being here. It was really difficult for me to get Sunshine in this webinar. I had to call a lot of people to get her to say yes. So thanks for joining us.
Oh, and by the way, she's also of stage fame at our recent LCA1 event and crushed it if you missed it.
Oh, she did crush it. She did great. It was her first time on a stage in front of a lot of people, and she was a hit and natural, and she stole the show. So basically, she can never speak at another Lab Coats event again. No, I'm kidding. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Sunshine, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and your past history of real estate.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, y'all. So I'm Sunshine. I live in Metro Detroit now. And as Nick said, I am the rainmaker for Superior Homes Group, Nick's team in Michigan. And I'm originally from Alabama. So I moved to Michigan a little over 3 years ago and started my business all over a couple of times now since I've been here in Michigan, I feel like. So we started Superior Homes Group in October and closed 2 transactions as a team or 3 transactions as a team from October to December. And
yeah, it was a slow start.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a slow start, for sure. And then it is, here mid-March, we're getting towards the end of Q1, and so far we have pending and closed 18 transactions. So we are on pace to do 84 units, about 20 million in volume. Thank you, Jeanette. About 20 million in volume for this year, our first full year as a team. So we're really, really excited about it. And it's myself and a buyer's agent and a showing agent, and then some back-end administrative help. But we absolutely wouldn't be able to do that volume, those numbers, without the technology that we're using, without the automation, and without the systems and processes that we have in place, for sure.
Awesome. So, where are your lead sources coming from typically?
So our primary lead source is Ylopo, and Ylopo is a marketing platform that generates Facebook leads, Facebook opportunities from Facebook, and those come in.
Don't say leads anymore because leads are people too.
Leads, well, no, and everybody defines lead differently. So on our team, for myself and the buyer's agent, we define a lead as someone who wants to do business with us in the next 30 days. So I know that looks a little bit different for everybody. So we call them opportunities until they're ready to do business with us within 30 days. And then at that point, they become a lead. So we're generating those opportunities through Ylopo. Somebody asked me to spell it. It's Ylopo. It's the...
Monopoly backwards.
The last 5 letters of the word Monopoly backwards.
Yeah, Ylopo, Ylopo. So that is our primary lead source. We have, I think, about, on average, we're getting between 500 and 600 opportunities from Facebook a month. And then we also use Zillow as a lead source. And then, of course, our, sphere of influence, past clients, and agent-to-agent referrals are becoming a bigger part of our business as well.
So let's talk about a Facebook lead versus a Zillow lead, right? So what do you think the main difference is?
I think Zillow leads are typically a little bit further along in the process. So generally when you get a Zillow lead, they're ready to see that house that they've contacted you about. With a Facebook lead, some of them are certainly ready to go look at the house that they're clicking on. I had a limiting belief when we started in October. I'm sure you remember us having this conversation about, oh my gosh, we're going to have all these Facebook leads, Nick, but we're probably not going to close any for 6 months. And you were like, no, they're better than you think they are. Calm down. The sky is not falling. It's going to be great.
Enough of this victim language.
I know. I don't talk like that anymore. So we, some of those opportunities from Facebook are ready to go see a property immediately, but the majority of them are a little bit further out in the process. And so when you pick up the phone, my script to close Zillow leads at a high level has always been a call and then a text. Hi, Nick, this is Sunshine with Keller Williams. You inquired about 123 Main Street. Did you want to set up a time to see it? So I come in hot with Zillow leads. I offer them the appointment right out of the gate, and I let them tell me, yes, I'm ready to see it, or no, I just wanted to know, if it had a basement or whatever the question is.
Are you using automation or an ISA service for the Zillow leads, or are you doing it yourself?
So all of our leads are funneled through Conversion Monster first.
Tell us about Conversion Monster.
For those who don't know what Conversion Monster is, it's a ISA service that intercepts all of your inbound leads from any source, and they'll follow up, very, very heavily over the first couple of weeks through phone, email, and text, and then they'll nurture your database for the next 11 months, unless the lead or the opportunity has been nurtured already for them. So they're sending you people that want to speak to an agent right away. That's what Conversion Monster does.
And by the way, Conversion Monsters, I think our experience with them is they are better with the nurture leads. That's almost what they specialize in versus the now leads like the Zillow leads. At least that's been our experience.
I don't want to overstep Sunshine, but I was going to say that we're actually seeing people that have been in the database since we started in October now being ready and responding and being qualified just from that follow-up that they're doing.
Right. Yeah. And also to elaborate on that. So yes, of course it's the follow-up. I mean, the money is in the follow-up. We all know that. But also the first system that we were talking about, Ylopo is constantly retargeting and remarketing to all of these people. So once they see a pretty house in their newsfeed that they click to get more information on and hit my website, now I'm following them around the internet. And every time they see a pretty house, it's probably sending them back to my website. And I think that is also, the money is in the follow-up for sure. But also just staying on top of knowing who's coming back so that you know how to continue to market to those people that keep coming back.
Hey, let's go back to this question here. So Brad had a question, and I don't know if this is for either one, which one of you this question is for, but Ylopo at 500 leads each month, what size budget does that require?
You can talk about it, Sunshine. Go ahead. It's your interview.
So you can talk about it if you want to.
How much is it? Let me know how much money you're spending. How much of my money are you spending every month? I'd love to know the answer to that.
Can I get that black card?
Yeah.
So the number of opportunities that you're going to generate are going to be based on your cost per lead. Our cost per lead in Michigan ranges between $3 and $5. Tristan's cost per lead in the Los Angeles area is more like $12 to $18. And Nick was even spending in New Jersey sometimes up to $20 per lead. So it's going to be based on your market, your price point, the cities that you're targeting, and something that I do, and I did it much more in the beginning, than I did now because we've kind of gotten it down to a process. But one thing is I do a lot of A and B testing, and I'm constantly going in and looking at our ads and seeing what my cost per lead is. And if one city is super expensive and we're not getting a ton, like if I'm getting 5 leads from an area and they're, and that cost me $50, but I'm getting 84 leads from somewhere else for, $2 each, then, I'm turning off the one that's costing me more money. And Ylopo naturally then goes and spends more money in the areas that are performing better.
Correct.
So for us, 500 to 600 opportunities a month is about $1,700. And
On just the ad spend alone?
That's for the ad spend.
Yep.
So let me ask you guys a question. So since I'm the outsider here, essentially, and I'm thinking, I know how it works, but I'm not sure that everybody else knows. Can you get a little bit more granular? I think most agents know how Zillow works, right? But how does Ylopo generate the leads? What are they doing? What kind of ads are they running? Tell us more about that.
You can obviously post all of your listings. And they do, just listed, open house, price improvement, all of the different stages of your listings. There are ads for that. They are also targeting like specific areas. So new homes just listed in Farmington Hills, new homes just listed in West Bloomfield, best priced houses in Farmington Hills. Are some of the ads. And then new construction, if there's, an area that's heavy new construction, get a list of see all of the new construction in this particular area. And then when it starts retargeting them, the ad will say, since you were last on, or, since your last visit, these are the homes that, are the newest listed and things like that.
Essentially, they're using what's called dynamic ads for real estate, which is a Facebook product. The abbreviation is DARE, D-A-R-E. And so basically what that does is, the analogy I like to use is one that Barry Jenkins came up with, where let's say you're looking on the Home Depot website because the summertime's coming up and you're looking at Weber grills. You click on a Weber grill, but you don't end up buying it. But all summer long, you keep seeing that same Weber grill in your news feed, because Weber usually only will come out with one new grill, just like a new car or whatever. But with real estate, with dynamic ads for real estate, what's so great about it is we're in an industry where our inventory literally changes every 15 minutes. So every time someone comes to your website and their criteria changes, even if it's ever so slightly, maybe they go from 3 beds to 4 beds, right? The next set of ads they're going to see in their newsfeed are houses that reflect their last search. So they're always seeing something different, and that's why the capture rate is so big. So I'll give you an example. In the last 6 months, since October, we have brought back about 500 or 600 people a month to our website through dynamic ads for real estate, but only 182 of them have engaged in listing alerts via email. So what's that telling you is that Facebook is the new listing alert.
Sorry to interrupt you, but the reason that 500 to 600 people coming back to our website is so powerful is because that's right at 30% of the total opportunities that we've generated. So of the amount of opportunities that we have generated, 30% of them are consistently coming back and viewing our website every single month. And that is an incredible number.
Are we talking about a website that Ylopo creates for you, or your website?
So, by the way, at the beginning of this webinar, I didn't mention that the webinar is actually sponsored by FirePoint, and FirePoint actually just integrated with Ylopo as a CRM. So you have 2 options. You can use the Ylopo website, or you can now use FirePoint in conjunction with the Ylopo ads. So a couple different options that you have.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then FirePoint's doing some automation on their end as well?
Yeah, so FirePoint has cool drip campaigns. You can set up text message alerts to go out, timing them just like Agent Legend does, where you set up a drip campaign and so on and so forth for any type of lead. But I think what we want to point out is when you get involved in something like a Facebook lead generation platform, a couple things that, first of all, it's great for scalability. So if you want to expand your team, the price per lead is substantially lower than one of a Zillow. And second, the leads tend to take a little longer to convert, typically. I mean, Sunshine, we've had opportunities where like they come in and they go under contract in a week, but typically it's a long-term nurture.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to build your database. And one of the things I love is that we're in a relationship business. We're in a business where people want information. And so the great thing about Facebook leads are it gives you that opportunity to educate people on real estate. Whereas Zillow is like, knock, knock, I want to see this house right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I need help over the course of several months, I think you can form that bond with a client much deeper.
Yeah, for sure. I just saw a question pop up. So Lindsay said, so you let Conversion Monster handle those opportunities through Ylopo and don't touch them until they become 30 days out. So the way that works is the opportunity comes in, Conversion Monster picks up the phone, calls them, texts them, emails them. They have, their process that they go through, and then, they go through the once a month touches. When they get these people on the phone, they qualify them. What are you looking for? What areas are you looking in? How many beds and baths? Have you spoken to a lender? Have you talked to any other agents? They ask them all of these questions, and then I get all of that information in an email. And that's when I pick up the phone. So I pick up the phone and I say, hi, Lindsay, this is Sunshine with Keller Williams. You were just speaking with my assistant, Megan. She let me know that you're looking for, and I kind of run through the criteria again. And, I let them, and they'll typically, Conversion Monster is asking them what their time frame is. And when people say that almost everybody says that they are 3 to 6 months out. That's the most common answer. And people who are 3 to 6 months out are actually ready to buy now.
You guys, if they can buy in 3 months, they can buy now.
Right. And that's where you have to, educate them like, hey, we're going to spend a couple of weeks looking at houses and, then it's going to take 30 to 45 days to close. So what you're telling me is, if you'd like to move in the next 3 months, then we need to start looking at houses in the next 2 weeks, right? And they're like, oh gosh, okay, yeah, we do. All right, perfect. Let's, get together for, a buyer consultation. I'm going to walk you through the entire process. I have some great information about the buying process for you, and just kind of take it from there. If they are genuinely, I'm in a lease, I can't, buy anything until November because I can't break my lease, or I'm not physically moving there with my job until November, then those people would just go on some sort of strategic follow-up program. And I typically just like design and build those out specifically for each person if they're not ready to, go ahead and start the process, set up the buyer consultation, and start looking now.
And you do that through which platform? FirePoint?
We're actually using Follow Up Boss as our CRM with Ylopo. I guess FirePoint wasn't integrated with Ylopo in October when we started.
Yeah, the FirePoint integration is brand new. So people were asking if there are other platforms that you can integrate with Ylopo. On FirePoint, LionDesk, and Follow Up Boss are the 3 main ones that they have deep integrations with. So Sunshine, talk about, because we talk a lot about automation, right? But we also forget that there's a lot of prospecting going on, right?
Absolutely.
You don't just sit there and wait for a lead to be qualified, right? So talk about what you do every day with the team.
So we have a strategic schedule that we follow for our lead generating time, which is every day, 9 to 12, non-negotiable. And it's something that we've really worked really hard on to kind of, get down to a science. So
still working.
Every day. Yeah. Failing forward every day. Getting a little bit better every day. If we can be 1% better today than we were yesterday, then, I consider it a win. So, come in, and the first thing we do in Follow Up Boss, there are priority tasks. Kind of, it's one of the options at the top for those of you that are using Follow Up Boss. And it lets me know who's most active on the website, who may have requested a showing overnight. Those come to me as text notifications as well. So typically I've already taken care of them, obviously before 9 a.m. But it'll tell me, Nick Baldwin has looked at 123 Main Street 7 times. If Nick's looked at 123 Main Street 7 times, he really likes that house. And so I use that information to engage him. Hey, Nick, I found this house 123 Main Street that I think you'll really like. And I send him out that listing. And a lot of times, you send it out and they respond and they're like, oh my gosh, I saw that one and I love it. Great. Would you like to set up a time to go see it? If they've been on, and so that's those types of conversations. That's what we're doing for the first 30 minutes of the day. And then our goal is to get 10 contacts a day and set 1 appointment. And
Can you explain what a contact is?
A contact is physically, I guess our goal is 20 contacts a day.
It is. Because why?
Because we are allowing text conversations to count as contacts. So previously, text did not count as a contact. You had to talk to someone on the phone. But we discovered that, we really were having some meaningful text conversations with people. We were getting information, they were engaging. And, you have to think in the morning, a lot of people are at work. So they may be able to text, they may not be able to talk on the phone. So we have to make 20 contacts a day. 10 of those have to be phone conversations. So that's the goal. That's the standard for our team. And
the reason we did that was because, I just want to say the reason we did that was because what we were finding was, and my team is watching, so they know. It's no secret. They know. What we found was most of the conversations were being done by text, and that's easy, right? Picking up the phone is hard. And what we're seeing is Conversion Monster is actually qualifying about 75% of our leads by phone. So phone works. Pick it up.
I honestly think it's probably higher than 75%.
It might be higher. Okay, good. You're the one seeing all the numbers. Well, yeah. So anyway, I just want to interview with that.
Yeah. So Brandy just asked a question. Do they have options for finding sellers, or is this really just buyer based? So we have found that the seller specific ads, the opportunities that we were getting from those were very expensive, like $30 each. Cost per lead got up to $15 when we were at family reunion in New Orleans, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack. Like, Nick was like, what's wrong? And I was like, this lead would cost $30. And he was like, calm down. I thought something was legitimately wrong with you. So we have found that the seller ads the leads that they were bringing in were really expensive. And we're finding that probably 40 to 50% of the buyer opportunities that are coming in actually have a house to sell. So isn't that crazy?
That's good. That's good. Hey, we've got a couple other questions here real quick too. And I want to get back to in the Ylopo too and talk a little bit about retargeting, what you guys are doing there. But let's answer these questions first.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Lori asked, what do you do when someone looked at the house 7 times, but the house is pending? Because their inventory there, wherever she is super low.
So if that was the case, I would reach out, and I think people know that you can see their activity on the website. Like, I think people know that that's a thing that companies do now. So while you never want to pick up the phone and be like, hey, Jeff, I see that you're on my website right now, because that's really creepy. I'm honest with people. I'm like, hey, I see that you have looked at a property on my website several times. It's gone. It's already pending. Do you want me to send you properties that are similar? Because they probably went back and tried to look at it again and noticed that it was gone. Or they went to Zillow and they typed in the address and they saw that it was pending on Zillow. Or I think people are smarter and more savvy than we give them credit for sometimes. And I think that we should just empower them with more knowledge. Like, hey, I know that you looked at this house 7 times and you really like it. Or several. I probably wouldn't say 7, because also that sounds a little creepy. I would be like, hey,
I know you looked at this house 7 times on Saturday at 2:00.
on Saturday at 2:04 p.m., you were looking at 123 Main Street. Do you
You remember that? I do, very clearly. So, I was going to say, well, real quick, someone did have, oh, that's a great, I want to answer that question too. So one of the main problems that real estate agents have is they are very literal, right? Like somebody looks at a house on their website, 123 Main Street, that house has sold. I'm just not going to call. What do I say? I'm just not going to call that person, right? So, and there's nothing. This is an issue that a lot of agents have, right? Use it as a conversation starter.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up the phone, find out more information about what they're looking for, right? Don't get paralyzed with, oh my God, it's pending. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Get to know this person, right?
Hey, as you know, inventory in this area is super low and homes are selling really fast. Somebody in my office had a listing 123 Main Street and, it went under contract in 48 hours and, whatever spin you want to put on it. Maybe it's your listing that they've looked at that many times and you just couldn't get them to engage to come see it, whatever that looks like for, you can craft it around that. But I would use, like Nick said, use it as a conversation starter. Inventory is super low. Homes are selling fast. Let me get your search more specific. And if people are, a long way out or I'm having trouble, getting in touch with them, I'll just tell them, hey, I just want to make sure that I'm sending you the right kind of homes. Are you still looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Southfield? Are there any other areas you're interested in? That has been, we get a great response from that question. Are there any areas other than Redford that you're looking in? Because we can see that the lead came in from an ad in Redford. And sometimes they say, I don't want to live in Redford. I want to live in Canton. And because they just clicked on a house that they saw and it just happened to be, in Redford. Somebody else said, when do you pre-qualify financially the buyer?
Best question of the day. Best question of the day right there.
So, do you know
whoa, simmer down. Jeff, you're at a 10. We need you to about a 2.
I always operate at a 15. In the first conversation, I asked I lead with the appointment because that's what people are looking for. And honestly, I probably lead with the appointment because I'm an ID. So I'm,
somebody just asked what your disc profile was. So she's an ID.
Nobody asked what the disc profile was.
No, they did. What's Sunshine's disc profile? I didn't get to it yet. So she's a DI.
Yeah. So I'm a DI. So I'm an excited driver. So I want to offer them the appointment and get right to the point. So I offer them the appointment, see if that's what they're interested in, if they're ready to start seeing homes. And then I ask them, hey, have you already spoken to a lender or are you just getting started with the process? Because again, these Facebook opportunities, sometimes they're very early in the process. And so they'll tell you, yes, I've already spoken to a lender, or no, I haven't talked to anybody, or my cousin works. We get a lot of my cousin's brother's uncle's sister works for Quicken because we're here in the Detroit market. And then either way, no matter what they tell me, I tell them that I'm going to have my lender reach out.
Yes. Love that answer.
Great. You've spoken to Chase. Okay, that's awesome. When you're shopping for a mortgage, this is a really big purchase. It really makes sense to have somebody else look over those figures, make sure that you're, getting a great deal, make sure you're going to get great service. And it's important to work with someone that's going to be, recognized in the market. The lender that I've chosen to partner myself with, he's well known in our area. It's going to help me get your offer accepted if there's, a multiple offer situation. So I'm going to have him reach out and give you a call. I don't offer to give them the lender's information because they're not going to call. I don't ask them really if it's okay if he calls. I just say, hey, I have a great offer for this is something that I'm doing for you. I've done all the research to make sure that you only have to talk to the best person one time. So I package it up nicely for them and I say, I'm going to have him reach out. And it's super easy to just tag the lender. And if I know any details, like if I know that they've already been pre-qualified with Quicken, or if, whatever details they give me, I share those with the lender, before he reaches out so that he can kind of adjust his script to how he's going to talk to them. I know the next question is going to be, what if they don't want to talk to the lender? Do you still show them houses? And the answer to that is yes. I know that this is like a hot button issue, and we could probably do a whole other webinar on it. But here's the thing. Before people are going to trust you and trust your lender and trust your suggestion, trust your recommendations, you have to build that rapport with them. So, the first thing I'm going for is a buyer consultation. I also want them to speak to the lender, but if they're, ready to see houses, they're, ready now to go see properties, and they don't want to talk to a lender, and we can't really work out the buyer consultation beforehand. I do it at the first house. So they get a freebie. I do the buyer consultation at the first house and build the rapport, build the relationship. And I've never had an issue getting them to talk to the lender after that.
This is really important for me to hear you say this. And I love that you guys actually are spending a little time on this, because in fact, I just had a conversation with a realtor literally right before we got on here, the exact same conversation, where there's just a bit of, this realtor is just too timid to do that. And the answer is always, I don't want to push too hard. I don't want to push my buyer away. So for any realtor who says that, it's like, well, I don't want to invade. I don't want to push them away from using me. How would you respond to that? That's
a limiting belief. Your realtor partners have chosen to work with you because you're the best lender, right?
100%.
Or they wouldn't be working with you. And so why would you not share? You're the expert. You are the one doing this day in and day out. We're not salespeople, we're consultants. Our job is to consult them, and our job is to help them arrive at the best financial decision for them, get them the best deal on their property, negotiate, take care of all the details. Like that, you can't sell people a house. Like it's not a thing. If they don't love it, if it's, buying a house is an emotional, you can probably sell an investor a house before somebody says, it's not always emotional.
That's not true, actually.
Right. I'm waiting for it. But for most people, this is their home. This is where they're going to live. And so you're their consultant. And so you have vetted these lenders. You know who the bad lenders in your marketplaces are. You know that Chase Bank is never going to, sorry if anybody from Chase Bank is watching, but Chase is never going to call them back. They're never going to answer the phone after 5 p.m. Wells Fargo is a hot mess. I have a Wells Fargo. I haven't said that's a low.
Keep going. Come on. Just keep going. Just give me a list. Go.
Listen. Ivan says low blow. It's true, buddy.
That's funny.
I've never had a loan close on time with Chase. Just saying. 12 years in the business, never had a loan close on time with Chase. Just saying.
Hey, props to Brad, by the way, because that's who you guys are loyal to. So obviously he does a fantastic job.
Yeah, Brad kills it. I've got one, I just got an email notification this morning. He took application, submitted the file to underwriting, and it's out of underwriting all on the same day. Brad crushes it. So I know that Brad crushes it. I know that he does. Jeanette said she's a very new realtor and she's already had problems with Chase. Ivan must work for Chase. I'm sorry. I'll send you coffee after this since I hurt your feelings. I don't want you to.
What though? From a lender perspective, and I will say this: there's a million companies, a million mortgage companies, and there's a million mortgage companies that do a fantastic job. What I find is it's the people, it's the individual. A lot of times they can bounce from company to company, but it's all about communication and it's all about just being on top of their game, just like you guys are. It's the same game. And you just got to find the right lender who gives you the service that to you that that he or she is going to also give to the customer.
Someone just said, I don't want to pronounce. I'm gonna totally brutalize his name. Alkida. Preach it, girl. Chase will not call back after 5 p.m. Emojis like this. Listen, if you work for Chase, we love you. We're just saying that. Typically, their reputation for closing loans on time isn't the greatest. But anyway, Brad Jagacki from Ruoff Mortgage is our lender here in Michigan, and Jeff is with USA Mortgage in the St. Louis area. So hit him up.
Let's go to the question here from Linda Wells. She just asked kind of a general question. What does your buyer consultation consist of?
Okay,
Let's
so
talk
we
about
actually, I know sometimes I get excited and squirrel off. So did I answer
Yeah.
the last question? Are we good with that?
Good.
No,
So-
let's talk about Chase some more.
So basically the short answer is, for the agent that was saying, I don't want to push the buyer away, you may lose that buyer anyway, because when they go with that lender that, you didn't suggest to them and the deal blows up, they're going to be pissed off at everybody. And so you may lose that client anyway.
Yep.
And so it's better to have them at least give your lender the opportunity to have the conversation with them, because you're the expert. You've told your client that you're the expert, they trust you. And so, why wouldn't they want to talk to someone that you've suggested for them? And then it's up to Brad and Jeff and, whoever you're working with to close them also. They have to build that rapport and close them also. So what does a buyer consultation look like? The buyer consultation is really just kind of, buying a home 101. Even if they, so obviously if they're a first-time home buyer, they're going to have a lot of questions. If they haven't bought or sold real estate in the last, 20, 30 years, they're going to have a lot of questions. Everything's changed. Even if they've bought their home 3 to 5 years ago, you don't know if the, agent that they worked with before, did they explain everything? Did they do a good job? I actually had a client, a past client, reach out to me, and she's in Alabama. And so she reached out to me to ask who she needed to talk to in Alabama, because she's thinking about selling the home that I sold to her. And she said, I know I've done this before. She said, but you made the process so easy that I still feel like I don't know anything about buying a house. And she was complimenting me and telling me that I did a good job. But I actually learned a very valuable lesson from that I didn't do a good job educating them on the process. And so that's why the buyer consultation is so important. So it's, kind of like a first date. You've swiped right or left. Is it right or left?
Sunshine, I don't know how that works.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't even know what you're talking about.
So you've swiped yes, whichever way it is, left or right. Somebody will tell us in a minute. You've swiped yes, and you're gonna go on this first date, and so it's your opportunity to make a great first impression. So you're gonna talk to. It's right. Thanks, Bill.
Bill, right on, buddy. Oh, Bill Alvin.
Bill's from my office. We sit down and I go over the entire process. I have this beautiful buyer guide that the person who does our marketing did for me. She also happens to be married to Nick Baldwin. So Ann did this great buyer guide, and it goes through the entire process. The different types of agency. And so, that's how we kind of, start the conversation about agency. And it goes through the, process of buying. So you look for homes and you put in an offer, and there's earnest money, and you have an inspection. And, there have been situations before with clients where I have the hiccups. Situations with clients before where I have, they were probably a Zillow lead, and, I didn't set any expectations up front. So we're looking at houses, and then they make an offer, and I'm like, okay, cool. And now I'm going to send you a list of inspectors. And they're like, inspectors, who pays for that? Oh, you do. Oh, okay. Oh, and I need your earnest money. It needs to be $500. Well, what's that for? Oh, and we're also going to need a termite inspection. What? And so I didn't set any of these expectations. And, now I'm telling these people, like, hey, I need $500 and $300 and $100 right now. And so those are the things, exactly. Those are the things that you are talking about in the buyer consultation. So, we're going to look at these homes. That's when you talk to them about, getting pre-qualified. You're going to talk to my lender. Brad's going to get you taken care of. He's going to see what the best loan vehicle for you is going to be. And, then we're going to go under contract, and there's going to be an earnest money deposit. And for the type of home you're looking for, it, needs to be between X and Y amount for your offer to be competitive. And, then we talk about the title process. There's a whole page in there about the title process, the title company that we use. For you guys in Michigan, it's Titleosity. They're amazing. They also do our contract to close. But there's like they have like a whole graphic that tells the client, everything that's happening in the title process. And then, there's information in there about my lender. And so I can honestly just go through the book from start to finish. And I know that I've covered everything with them and there aren't going to be any surprises. And so it just makes everything run really smoothly. It's not a long process. It takes me maybe 10, 15 minutes to go through the buyer packet. And then we drill down on what they're looking for. So, tell me exactly what you're looking for. If I can find you, what are your top 5 things? If I can find you a home that has all of these 5 things, are you going to be, ready and willing to make an offer right away? And just kind of go from there. And then a lot of times we go ahead and set up and schedule their first showings while we're at the buyer consultation.
So 2 things. One, someone wants you to repeat your morning schedule again, real quick.
Okay. So we come in, we do the priority alerts in the, I actually don't think that we finished talking about that. So maybe that's why they're
All right, so let's talk about that again, and then I want to talk about expires for a minute, and then we'll wrap up. So,
Okay.
So what do you do in the morning when you come in at 9 a.m. and prospect with a team? What's that look like?
So we start with any priority alerts, people that have been back to the website several times, anybody that the CRM has designated as a hand raiser. We spend about 20, 30 minutes at the beginning of the day doing that. And then we just dive into follow-up. And so, of course, we have drips that are going out and, emails that are going out, but we're really just looking at, hey, who keeps coming back to the website? Who has Conversion Monster qualified that we haven't talked to in a little while? Who did Conversion Monster qualify back in October that, was waiting until the spring? And we just go through and we just drill through them for 3 hours, trying to hit that, 10 conversation goal and set one appointment. Obviously, if it happens in the first 30 minutes, you don't get to stop.
A 20 conversation goal now, but
So you're still doing, 10 conversations, and then 10 can be texting. The people that we aren't reaching, we're leaving those people voicemails, and then we're following that up with a text and some push listings. So through Ylopo, you can send push listings. I usually do, 8 to 10 in the push listings, and, send a text. Hey, Nick, this is Sunshine with Keller Williams. I handpicked a few homes for you this morning, and I just wanted to send them over. Send the text, send the push listings, and those people that
so people know what a push listing is. It's a one-off listing alert.
Right. And so if you're not using Ylopo, that's something that you can absolutely do just with
your MLS or
from your website or your MLS or anything like that. Just, hey, Nick, this is Sunshine with Keller Williams. I just wanted to check in. Some new homes just came on the market that I think you might like. Here's a list.
Yeah.
Let me know. Let me know if you see it.
Sunshine, since we have a buyer agent and a showing assistant on our team too, Tristan and Kelly, Sunshine does work with buyers, but she's really focusing heavily on sellers. And she's been prospecting expired listings. So talk about your expired listing system, and then I'm going to share my screen and show the Ylopo seller presentation that shows them what our social media marketing platform looks like.
Okay. So some of the expired prospecting that I do looks just like everybody else's expired prospecting. I pick up the phone and I call them.
What?
I know. Just like everybody else. I'm one of those 20.
I don't think that's like everybody else, actually.
Well, that's what everybody thinks that everybody else is doing it, so they're not going to do it.
Everybody else should be.
I want them to keep thinking that. So in Southeast Michigan, definitely don't prospect expireds.
But talk about how you're purposeful about your expireds, and you're not just calling every single one. You're purposeful about it. Talk about that.
Correct. Yes. So because we have automation and because we have that leverage piece, I don't call every single expired that pops up every day. I only call the ones for listings that I really, really want. Do I go through, and if it's an area that I really like to work in, or a price point that I, know is going to sell really quickly, or, whatever that is, those are the expires that I'm calling. And I keep those people kind of in a separate little bucket. We're using Vulcan 7. as our dialer. And the script that I'm using, I have a coach through Glover U. And so I use Jeff Glover's expired script when I'm calling, and it's pretty simple. Hi, this is Sunshine with Keller Williams. My call today is twofold. One, to let you know that your home is no longer for sale, and two, to see if you're still interested in selling it. So the script is pretty simple, and then go through, find their motivation. Where do you want to move? If your home is going to sell, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so you can go to gloveru.com. You can download that script. All of Jeff's scripts are on there. And those are the ones that we use on our team. So I'm only calling, though, the ones that I really, really want.
And then, guys, by the way, if someone says to her, so she doesn't set the appointment right then and there, we're using Agent Legend as follow-up, right? So if we place them on a drip campaign of text and emails, so over time we can continue to nurture them and stay in front of them, and that's the automated part. So that's working really well. So I'm gonna share. Yes, Jeanette, gloveru.com. I'm gonna share my screen real quick, because one of the things we do, everybody says, "Hey, I saw your home expired. I have a buyer in your neighborhood," right? Everyone says that, but how many of you can actually prove it? And so with Ylopo, we're actually able to prove it. And I'm just going to share my screen and show you what Sunshine is. Show you what Sunshine is either emailing or dropping off or showing to them in person. Let me know when you guys can see the screen.
I can see it.
Yes.
All right, so I'll let Sunshine explain it. So talk about this first page here.
So this is a brochure. This is something that I can print in about 3 seconds from Ylopo, and it's actually something that I leverage to my virtual assistant. I have two virtual assistants. Ours are through my Virtue Desk, and they are amazing. They can do all sorts of stuff. But one of the things that they do for us is they prepare these based on the list of expireds that I handpick. Those listings that I really want to go after, they are getting we call it our expired package. So this is the first thing that's in that expired package, and it's our digital and social media marketing plan. It shows that 103,000 people are viewing our ads. 1,900 active home buyers are searching our website. 3,100 people see our ads every day, and we're spending thousands of dollars a month to market 26 listings on Facebook. And so if you scroll down, when we talk about online marketing, we tell people we're going to put it on Zillow, we're going to put it on Trulia and Realtor.com. It's also going to be on Facebook and Instagram, and then all of the websites in the Facebook Audience Network, as they call it. And then this little blurb, within 10 miles of this address, there are 49,000 people likely to move soon, first-time home buyers that recently looked for homes for sale. And I am telling them, I know that there are 49,000 people within 10 miles of your house that are doing these things, and everybody else is going to post it to their Facebook page, and they have 200 friends.
That is slick as shit.
Thanks, Jeff. So it shows an example. Oh, this is a good one. So Jeff, you asked what the ads look like. So this is an example of what the ad actually looks like. New Commerce Township open house. Don't miss this deal. Multiple offers expected. We did get multiple offers. We got 8 offers on that house. And that is an example of one of those dynamic ads for real estate. So it's a carousel. It's got lots of nice pictures. I love my emojis. And so that is what the ad looks like. And so I showed them an example of, an ad that I'm going to run for you. Can you keep scrolling, Nick?
Yeah, sorry. Somebody said, did she really just say blubberu.com? No, it's Glover with a G. Glover, the letter U.com. Okay, I just thought that was funny. Jeff Blubber. I love Jeff Blubber.
You guys are funny. We create a new ad for each stage of your home selling cycle. So new, open house. We talked about this and so this is something that Ylopo actually does automatically. So they know what stage the property is in, and they change those ads for me automatically. New open house, 30 days, price reduction, 60 days, pending sold.
Now, obviously, the goal is to not go past this open house one, right? We don't
Correct.
want to miss it past that. That's the goal. But
Correct. Actually, Nick, the wise Jeff Glover would say that if you don't have some listings that are sitting, you're not taking enough listings.
oh, all right. Well, listen, Jeff and I disagree on some things.
I said something about my average days on the market or whatever, and I was like really proud of it. And so he took that moment to burst my bubble, rain on my parade, and be like, hey, if your average days on the market is 7, you need to take more listings. So challenge accepted.
So examples of certain people we would target depending on the type of house. But okay.
And when I'm having the conversation with them, I point out the type of people that are going to be interested in their property. Like I'm like, hey, when I'm marketing your property, I'm going to be showing it to these people, and these people. And then Ylopo knows that one of the targets for this particular home is going to be a relo buyer. And so we know that relo buyer is age 30 to 55, has children under 18, a household larger than 3. They visited Clarkston, Michigan in the last 6 months, and we're going to tell them that there are new homes for sale in Clarkston. Are you moving? Don't miss out. And so that is
the right person, the right time, and the right message. And a lot of agents actually miss these 3 essential steps. And they mostly miss out on the right time and what to say. Right. So like you said before, with a Zillow lead, the message is, when do you want to see the house? With a Facebook lead, it's more of a nurture. It's like, what's your time frame for moving? Have you spoken to a lender? There's more conversation that needs to be had. So,
yeah, for sure. For sure. And
right,
this also gives me the opportunity to show the seller that I am an expert in online marketing. I'm the best person to market your property, because no one else is going to sit with them at their kitchen table and have a conversation with them about exactly what the ad is going to look like. Nobody's doing that.
And so, by the way, guys, this is the icing on the cake. I don't think I've ever not taken a listing after showing them this. So let's go back, right? The listing is expired. We get the person on the phone. We enter their address into our system and the different criteria of the home: number of beds, number of baths, price range, square footage, address. And what the system does is, everybody says, I have buyers, but our system shows us exactly how many. So if this house was in this price range with this amount of beds and this amount of baths and this square footage in Clarkston, Michigan, out of 2,500 people in our database, we've got 78 that are looking for a home that fits these criteria. And then it shows them who they are. Obviously, it blurs out their last name and their email. If there was a time frame for buying, it would be here. But this is real, right? So when we're at the table, we go, and Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when you list your house with us, the very first thing we're going to do is go back to our office and call all 78 of these people. Yes. And they're like, where do I sign?
And if I'm sending this in the mail, or if I am like dropping this off at someone's door, I use a pink highlighter and I highlight 78 and I write over here in this white margin, I'll call these people first, or these people will be my first call, or whatever little like message that I put in there, because I want them to know that, when I put this together to put it in the mail to you, like I really did it.
Yeah,
I guess.
For sure. It's really powerful. So, the thing is, we talk a lot about agents don't have the information or the data that they used to have before Zillow and Realtor, but we really do. Like, if we have these buyers in our database, or if we have people looking for homes like this, the only way this seller is going to get to them is through us. That's the only way. So you just have to find that one piece of information that's so important that they want to hire you. So that's just my little piece there.
And that listing rocket is through who?
It's through Ylopo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So That's where the magic happens. But I just want everyone to understand that automation is leverage, right? It's the new hustle, but you have to still make the calls and do the work and get your hands dirty.
Every day.
Love it. Hey, by the way, Linda had asked earlier, can she get a copy of your buyer's packet?
Where's Linda located?
Linda, you're going to have to answer that question for us.
Because if you're located in my market, the answer is no. If you're located in Florida, then the answer, sure.
She's California, Lancaster, California.
I'm not going to answer that on this webinar because then I'll have 7,000 emails in the comments. So I'll think about it, Linda. Wink, wink. But my wife designed the buyer presentation.
Add me on Facebook and send me a private message, and I'll give you a
See what you did? Me too. I want it. Give it to me. Send it to me. Awesome. Great. All right.
If you guys add me on Facebook and send me a Facebook message and you are not in Southeast Michigan, then we can chat about my buyer packet.
Hey, Ivan wants to know if he can get a copy of all your leads too.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, Ivan, I'm in a very committed relationship with Ruoff Mortgage and Brad Jakacki, but if I'm ever looking for a side piece, I'll keep you in mind.
Don't you love how Sunshine can use Tinder and side piece to talk about real estate?
So good. So good.
Listen, Jeff, if you want our business, you're going to have to fight Brad in the ring.
Listen, I like Brad. He's a colleague of ours in Lab Coat Lenders, so I love and respect him. Nothing but good things.
He's not even on this webinar to hear all of these nice things.
Yes, he is. It said Brad Jakacki is watching.
At least for a minute.
All right, everybody, listen, thanks. We got to jump off. This was awesome. And
Is that scotch? No, it's for sure water. The bottom of the cup is just gold.
listen, when you work with me on my team, you need scotch. Okay. This is great. Sunshine, you have your hands full with people wanting.
There is scotch right there.
Oh, there's scotch right there.
Ooh, yes.
Good way to end this webinar.
A little
All right,
Balvenie 14 years.
Awesome. What?
A little Balvenie 14.
Ooh, yeah. I saw Basil Hayden over there too.
I told you.
Mm-hmm.
I told you that Basil is my drink. Yeah, I have a Basil Hayden's Jefferson and Balvenie 14. Isn't that what every girl has on her bar cart?
Yeah, for sure.
Come on.
Just Southern Bells, right?
Yep. All right. I don't know about you, but I got to go.
I have to go prospect.
Peace.
Yes. Get on the phones. Bye.
Bye.